What's up, brothers and sisters? This is your brother G World 7 underscore D. And I have the book America is the True Old World, the Original Africa by Amenhotep Chavez El Bey. All right. I'm going to go to page, let's see, 112. 112. A little fan is on, so turn it this way. We'll hear it that way. We'll shut it off. Okay. Let me go here. And here we're going to start right here. We'll start with Tamaray, the land of the Moors, Mars. Tamaray means land of the Moors, land of the blacks, and or Mary's land. Maryland, Virginia, as in Virgin Mary. Maryland is a very interesting word, and it means Tamaray, the land of the Mars. Maryland also means the land of Mary, Maru, Maya. Maryland also means Mauritania, since the suffix Tana in Mauritania means land, and Mori means Mary or Moor, which means land of the Moors or land of Mary. I believe that Washington, D.C., which the author says, which was formerly known as Rome, Maryland, was also the capital of Tamaray. And in ancient times, since it's still the capital of America, Tamaraka today. Additionally, the Virgin Creek goddess, the Virgin Creek Greek goddess Columbia, aka Lady Liberty, or the Statue of Liberty, is the personification of the three Virgin goddesses, Isis, Mary, and Virginia. And here's what I talked about before. This is a map for the Sun map from 1657 of La Florida. And you see these Negroes right here. I just question be black. I mean, here's some goofy white woman talking about all the Negroes and all the Indians in Florida look Negro, but they weren't Negro. Whatever the hell that meant. But it just tell you the ignorance of so many people. But these are the Negroes that were here. These are not Africans. And you hear people talking about, well, those Africans who came over here, it was Africans already over here, and then you have Africans who came later on. Those idiots don't know what the hell they're talking about. And it's sad that they continue to try to make every single so-called black person an African. So when they dig up something that's a black man here in America, he's instantly labeled African. So he's instantly labeled as a foreigner. I said that before many times. All right, here we go. Get the shadow out a little bit. Okay. In addition, is fabulous Gothic architecture, Moorish Tartanian architecture, all over Washington, D.C., the District of Columbia. Columbia means the spirit light bee, or the queen bee of the land of milk and honey, symbol of the promised land. And Columbia is the poetic name for the Americas, and this name existed prior to Christopher Columbus, so it was not named after him. Also, Rome, Maryland, aka Washington, D.C., predates Christopher Columbus by 1,000 years, since it was built using an ancient and extinct unit of measurements called megalithic yard. The megalithic yard is over 5,000 years old, and it traces back to the time of Atlantis. I'm going to skip a little further over and go to here. The term Moor or Moor, Maor or Moor, correspond to Morai land, Maryland, Morocco, Mauritania, Ethiopia, and the Egyptian and Hindu Mount Meru. The Moors were matriarchal at first because they understood that the pole star, North Star, Polaris, was a great mother vertex of celestial and territorial creation, known as the Mother Mary or Mount Meru, since this star is the compass in their guiding star navigation. The term Moor or Maor in Phoenician is Maharin, and it means westerns. The term Maharin can be ultimately traced back to Egyptian Mr, Mer, Maor, Meru, and Mu. We are all Moors because we are sons and daughters of Mount Meru, aka Mary. Mary equals pole star, North Pole. We were all born from the womb of the Mother Mary Stargate, aka the celestial vagina or portal, as the blue beam of heliographic light. Every woman during birth is symbolic of the pole star gate or portal, aka Mother Mary, since she gives birth to life, light. The term Morai equals Mary. For example, Mu, Mer, Meru, Morai, Morai, Mary. The Moors were known as Morai men, merry men, such as the Saracens, son of Sarah. They were renowned men of Saint Sarah, aka Mother Mary. Interesting that we have a map that designates a huge territory of land as Le Floridas, and on the said map, the nationality of the Tamaracans, is labeled on the map plaque. Tamaracans equals Americans. If we remove the sacred bull Taurus, T or T square, in front of the Tamaracans, when we do so, we are left with American. Therefore, Tamare is the main root word for America if you add the sacred T or the Ta in front of America. Like I said before, America was not named after no damn America Vespucci. Nigga was already here with that name. Okay, and we go further. The Samson map of La Florida that he shared in his previous books show the peoples clearly as being, quote, swarty, black, or copper-colored Timucuan Indians in a state of slavery, aka prisoners of war that were captured by the Spanish Rome during the American invasion of the 1500s. All right, you got to remember, there was various different types of black people I see in this country, so-called Negroes in this country, and it was constantly travel within the terrain of the Americas, North America, and into South America, as well as traveling out to other parts of the world and colonizing different regions of the world. Okay. The Timucua Indians were the Ethiopians and the Syrians of Florida. The Timucua and the Tamaracans are ethnologically and phenotypically the same word due to similar spelling and similar pronunciation. However, let's break it down further since the root Timucan is Tamu, Tame, which is short for Tamare, since the vowels are sacred interchangeable and were sometimes omitted in words. The suffix Timucuan is Kuan, which is obviously Kahan, since the letters C and U in Kuan are equivalent to the letters K and H in Khan. And the two letters can be substituted because they are interchangeable, like vowels. Therefore, when you combine the prefix and the suffix of Timucuan, you will form the word Tamurican, using my breakdown or interpretation of Khan. Khan is an Asian title that means king or priest. Ta-Mare or Amaru, Amaru, is derived from the Sumerian god Amaru. Ta-Mare is also an old name for Egypt, and it relates to Ethiopia Superior, aka Abyssinia and Assyrian, which was a huge landmass known as Le Floridas. Ta-Mare or Ethiopia Superior. La Louisiana, Akkadian equals Sumerian, Assyrian, and Babylonian. In Carolina, Turkish for black land. The Timucua Indians had a vast territory of land that covered most of North Florida and Central Florida prior to the Spanish invasion of Florida in 1500s. The territory of the Timucua included Jacksonville, St. Augustine, Callahan, Tampa, Orlando, etc. The Timucua were the first natives of Florida, and they were a race of giants. The average height for the Timucuan man was between 7 and 8 feet tall. The Timucuan chief I'm pronouncing his name correctly, is Seteriwa or Seteriwa. I lost my space right there. Okay, Chief Seteriwa was so dark that you could barely see his tattoos. Now, I might pronounce his name wrong. It's either Seterawi or Seteriwa. I'm going to pronounce it correctly. So, part my pronunciation of his name. You can barely see his tattoos because he was so dark that you can barely see his tattoos. He was a giant that was 8 feet tall. He was called Prince of Florida and was labeled the Moor with the emerald level. Okay, and I'm gonna go further down. And here's Chief. Not shown this picture before. Sataiwa. Okay, here you go. This is the actual picture. This is a straight up Negro. I've shown this picture before. So anyone sits there and try and tell you that these just African slaves, that's how we got here, don't know what the hell they talking about, man. Don't know what the hell they talking about. Chief Sataiwa, or Iwa, formed an alliance with the French Huguenots against the Spanish invasion of Americas. In the 1500s, since the Huguenots and the Timucua were both Moors, they had a common enemy. They're both Negroes. Now, I talked about how the original people of France and Spain were, how they look like in previous videos. The French Huguenots are allegedly responsible for building St. Augustine, Florida, since St. Augustine was alleged founded by French Huguenots. The French Huguenots were also allies of the French Acadians. Remember I said the Sumerians were spiting gold or mining for gold in South America? Pardon, my voice is a little hoarse. All that's connected here in America. So all that's connected actually globally. St. Augustine, Florida is the oldest city in America, allegedly founded in 1562 by French Huguenot Captain Jean Ribault, which is 43 years older than the founding of Jamestown, Virginia. St. Augustine is the oldest continuously occupied European settlement in the continental U.S. Tourist attractions include 2 national monuments that are sites of old Spanish forts, Castillo de San Marcos and Fort Matanza. And I'm going to go. Interesting that Florida has a Lake Wales, which medieval Pictish Druid towers, they're called the Bok Tower. The Bok Tower has an image of Poseidon on its wall. Poseidon was a god of the Mediterranean Sea. Wales is a Welsh-speaking country in the British Isles. Another Welsh connection we can make at Jack Hill Island, which is located off the coast of Georgia in Glenn County, Georgia. Jack Hill Island means the island of Wales. In French, Jack Hill Island was originally a Timucua and Gauls Indian establishment prior to Spanish colonization. The fact that the Timucua and the Gauls Indians lived together suggests that they were blood allies. Since this is what family and friends do, we live together when we are in love and harmony with each other. I'm gonna stop right there real quick, man. That's the Gullah, all right? Right there, the Gael or the Gauls, that's the Gullah. So when people tell you that Gullah Geechee stuff, when that's 2 different things, and they say that they're African from Angola, not only are they ignorant, but they're lying. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. And you listen to these damn Pan-Africans, these goofballs, continue to misgive you information. I told you over the years that I've been doing this, that I have access to a lot of this information because I have people in my family who were in education, who were the principals, vice principals, whatever, teachers in that field. So I know this information. They don't teach you this in college, man. They teach you that you're a slave from Africa. All right. And in that, you have Jamestown, Virginia, obviously named after King James, and the subjects that were there were Negroes. But they teach you a history that you were brought over here in chains when actually you're prisoners of war. And our people have already been here. Now, some of my people may be straight Aboriginal Indians or Americans, while some of my other people are a mixture of the Aboriginal Indians here and the black Aboriginal Europeans from Europe. All right. I'm going to probably stop there because there's some more on this that I can read, that I will read. I probably will make a part 2 to this, but this is an exceptional book if you can get it, because he had another volume book that I had of him. It's America's the True Old World, The Original Africa by Amenhotep Chavez El Bey. This is an excellent book because I talked about before, and I showed you some pictures before. He had ancient monuments here in ancient America that was carved out that had images of animals or ancient kings or queens, gods and goddesses that were up there that were carved into images of a human, but they able to blast and cut and carve into rock. They had the ancient technology because they knew how to smelt iron. They're more likely to use iron in the ancient method of blasting into rock, into cutting into images, man. But since that stuff has not been upkept for so many years, it's been basically deteriorated. All right. So when you listen to these little goofball Negroes on YouTube who keep telling you that you're a descendant of African slave, that we African, a name that's not really 500, 600 years old, telling you that, they not only they don't know what they're talking about, but they have been conditioned by their white masters or the Negro teacher who's educated by somebody white. This is what you get, man. And then until you do your own research, I mean, this is years of research to come up with this information, you are continuing to believe that you're a slave from Africa. Stop that, all right? Stop believing that you're a slave from Africa. Stop preaching this mess, because I'm hearing people now, like I said before, the term FBI is going to get hijacked because it's supposed to be initially for what? Black Aboriginals slash black Europeans slash black people from Africa. When one of them Africans that came over here. And now you get the Pan-Africans and realize they can't make no money doing that mess no more. So they don't pivot to, quote, FBA. And if hijack say, hey, they just descended of slaves from Africa, when most of them not the descendants of slaves from Africa. And I really don't push the ethnogenesis thing, because not all the black people here in America, some of them are just straight Aboriginal. Some of them have the Aboriginal and the European mixed in them. Very few African in them. So when you say ethnogenesis, you're talking about the three different groups. I don't agree with that. Most black Americans are either straight Aboriginal black or the Aboriginal slash black European mix. All right, that's what most black Americans are. I don't push no ethnogenesis. I don't agree with that. All right, but that's the information I'm gonna give you right there. That's our history. Because when the people are talking about the ethnogenesis, it seems like they want to still creep in that African stuff. And man, there's no proof of that, man. All right. Most of us are already here. They were reclassified. The blacks are reclassified. When they seen them dark-skinned Negroes here, they said, oh, they look like some niggas that we done seen over in Europe or in North Africa. So we're going to reclassify them and make them into something, make them foreigners in their own land. That's a way to steal their land, okay? By reclaiming and reclassifying them as something else, that's a way to making them foreigners and stealing their land. That's why when you call yourself African, you say you're a foreigner. And when I hear Negroes talking about, hey, they take pride in being called African, but don't want to be called Aboriginal or Indigenous to America, and then want to put down people in the city, the Indigenous to America, the only dumb person is you, because you're saying that you're a foreigner. You keep, by calling yourself an African, you're saying that you're a foreigner. I'm not a foreigner. This is my land. My people built this land. My people are indigenous to this land. Now, if you want to be an African, that's on you. But that tells me how ignorant some of my people are, who really don't understand the trick wordplay that a lot of these white anthropologists will do. Hey, they dig up something in Louisiana, obviously show an ancient black person. He looks African. So right there, he can't be indigenous to his land. He's a foreigner. So, the African must have traveled here, not realizing that man is not African. That man is actually an Aboriginal black person of this land. Peace and love, brothers and sisters. This is Brother G World 7_D.